We're good to go.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the Board of Residential Building Appeals to order at 5:56 PM. Roll call.
Mr. Golis, Ms. Curley,
Present.
Mr. Andrus,
Here.
Mr. Reed,
Here.
Chairman Rowe.
Here. All right, before we get started, I will let you know this is Board 5. We have 4 here, so you'll need 3 yes votes for your variance or your appeal to be accepted. So before you get started, just make sure you step up to the podium, sign in, and then when we call your appeal, just make sure you state your name, address, and then give us a little background on the appeal that you're requesting, and then we'll go from there. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Our first appeal is A33-25, appeal to section 109.2 of the Residential Code of Ohio relating to orders, violations, and unsafe buildings. The location is 2322 Taft Avenue. The applicant is Fanique Lipkins for Josie's Properties LLC. I'm assuming that's you. Yes. All right, so go ahead and state your name, address, and then give us a little request, or I guess a little background on the appeal.
Okay, my name is Fanique Lipkins. My original address is 3714 Beverly Drive, but I'm here about this half avenue.
All right, so it's do you have anything that you want to say about the appeal?
Oh, yes.
Okay, go
So I
ahead.
don't know if you
No,
want
you're
me to-
good, go
okay.
ahead.
So I got this property like in August because I was originally trying to start a substance abuse and mental health home. So that's why I ended up getting this property because it was a duplex. But once I did some research and everything, I didn't think Oregon had wanted the mental health in the neighborhood. So I decided to move in it myself because I work in Oregon. I just got a job in Oregon about 6-7 months ago. So I went to get the lights and stuff cut on, and I paid for it and everything with Dylan. And he ended up getting back with me and giving me a stop work order because of a previous fire. So the previous fire that was done, I was aware of a fire, but I wasn't aware that no permits or anything were put. So all that happened before I purchased this property. The permits was not put. I think they put a stop work order on the previous owner, but they never followed through with anything. When I asked about, why, they never followed through or, followed through with charges with the previous owner, they stated because someone passed away. So I asked, well, why it didn't get followed up on again, with someone else? I didn't get any answer. So I feel like if this had, would have got followed up the appropriate way, I would have knew about permits not being put or anything. So now I'm in a situation where I have no problem with the house getting inspected at all. They can come in and inspect and do whatever they need to do, but I basically was told that the walls and everything needs to be knocked down.
I don't know that we're knocking walls down, right? We just need to
Open them up.
open them up so that they can see what's.
Yeah, so basically open them up, and I had to get new drywall and everything put back up. So I did ask, because I got some videos from a contractor, I asked, can I show videos or pictures of the work being performed, and you guys can see what they did. And I can't, because I talked to a few people, and they said that could be possible. So I'm not disagreeing because I understand they said, it's not safe because the permits weren't put, and I don't want to be anything that's not safe. So I do want you guys to inspect it and everything, but I don't want to have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars of these walls getting open, and I have to pay for that stuff. So again, like I said, if Oregon would have did their due diligence, and did this the proper way, I would have known about this. Nothing was ever done with this previous owner. And like, I understand someone passed away, but nothing ever got followed up on. So,
I'm just curious. I mean, you have to,
so I do have videos and pictures of, the work that was done, and this was before I got the house.
Okay.
That have been done since I purchased this house.
have those been shared with the building department?
I'm sorry?
Have those been shared with the building department?
No, I was waiting for the hearing, actually, because I
Okay.
had hired an attorney, but he couldn't make it, so he referred me to someone else. But
I mean,
basically, I was forced to come because they said I couldn't reschedule, so we were going to put it on a flash drive so you guys can see everything, but I haven't.
I mean, I'm not, by no means am I a building inspector.
Right, right.
So I'm not going to say yes or no on
Right.
videos, and I would leave that up to the building department. I think the appeal here tonight is strictly for, I mean, as I understand it, there's no occupancy on the house right now, so nobody
Correct.
can occupy the house with
Correct,
people.
but someone was staying there. The bottom was never caught on fire at all. So someone was staying there after the fire. Gas lines and everything were put in after the fire. All this happened with the previous owner,
Sure.
after the stop work orders were put in.
Yeah, and if they weren't inspected, then obviously you
Well, I
can't.
don't know if it was after the stop work order was put in, but I know this was after the fire.
Okay.
So all this stuff was still being done with this previous owner. And now the, property is nice and everything, and now I'm stuck.
So I will defer to the building department and the inspectors to do their jobs. Obviously, I'm on the other side of things. I think a few of us most of us here on the board are all in, sort of deal with this on a daily basis. So we leave the inspections to the inspectors, but, I mean, from my understanding, what this appeal is basically asking for us to just not have something inspected and then,
No, I'm not asking, I never asked for anything not to get inspected. I just wanted like a fair inspection, because I was told that I had to get like all these plans and stuff done.
sure, which is normal. I mean, anytime you have
Yeah.
a fire project, I mean, I've done plenty of drawings for fire jobs.
So my big concern was not having to open up these walls, and I have to pay thousands of dollars to get walls put back up.
I think the issue is that without those walls being open, there's no
Correct.
way for the building inspection department to know whether or not it was built correctly
Okay, so that's
and
why I was
whether
asking.
to know it was built safely.
I mean, I've personally had jobs where we've had to open things up beyond what was in the area just to prove that, wire and weird things with fire, things go places they're not supposed to go. So I mean, that's not uncommon for that to happen. And looking at some of these pictures, I mean, there's definitely some structural damage. So again, without an inspector looking at those to see if everything was replaced, I mean, there's no way that they can
That's why.
give an occupancy on a structure without having those inspections.
And, we understand that maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was a previous owner, but
Correct.
without the inspections, there's no way, it kind of doesn't matter who owns it. If the inspections weren't done, they weren't done, and there's no way to certify that the building was safe.
Right, and I understand, that's why I asked, can I show the videos and pictures of the property?
I think that's up to the building department to
Yeah,
decide.
I think, I would definitely share whatever you have with them, and then they can try and work with you. But I don't, I have no idea what's on there. And again, I'm not an inspector in the state of Ohio, so you don't want me looking at them.
And are you guys able to answer why this, like, the proper protocol wasn't done with the previous owner?
We can't, we have no idea. We're here because from what I'm reading in this appeal hearing, it's essentially asking us to just not have you do inspections. It's kind of the short version. I mean, that's what the letter
No, I
is.
don't want inspection not to be done. I don't
All right.
expect that.
So then,
I'm fine.
that's basically what we're here to do today, is
No,
to answer that
I'm-
question.
I'm perfectly fine with an inspection.
Okay.
My main thing is I didn't want, because like I said, basically the walls have to be just tore down.
But part of the
So-
inspection is likely going to be that some of the drywall will have to come out, at least on one side, for them to take a look to see how it's, just so that you're clear. That will likely be part of the inspection.
Okay.
There's-
So-
I just have a question, I don't know, maybe for Dylan or for the main guy here. So there were permits pulled by the guy originally doing the work? There were permits pulled for the structural and the electrical and all that stuff after the fire, whoever actually did the work?
Chairman Rowe, Mr. Reed, no, there were not.
Okay.
The fire, according to the Oregon Fire Department records, the fire originated on the second floor kitchen area and moved into the attic on 2/15 of 2022. There was substantial fire damage to the structure, plumbing, electrical, HVAC that was apparent from the pictures provided by the fire department. There was an adjudication order, stop work order, notice of building code violation issued to the owner at the time, Mr. Brad Fields, on 3/21 of 2023. Over a year after they had continued to do work without permits. We were unaware of that. And so charges then were requested against Mr. Fields for illegal work done without approved plans and permits on 4/4 of 23. Then the following month, Mr. Jamar Johnson requested all the documents related to the stop work order on 4/20 of 23. The property was transferred from Mr. Brad Fields to Josie's property for $7,000 on 9/4 of 2024. A new stop work was placed on the structure due to the property transfer on 12/3/2024, and a new adjudication order, stop work order, notice of building code violation was issued to the new owner, Ms. Fanique Lipkins, on 12/6 of 2024. The new adjudication order, stop work order, notice of building code violation was issued to the new owner, Ms. Fanique Lipkins, and new LLC statutory agent, Mr. Jamar Johnson, who was appointed on 12/3/2024, according to the Ohio Secretary of State records. Ms. Fanique Lipkins requested then the Board of Residential Building Appeals hear this case on January 27th, 2025. Then this meeting was scheduled for February 12th, 2025. Then it was rescheduled at the applicant's request on that same day, 2/12/2025. The board convened on February 26, 2025. The applicant before you requested a continuance, and it was continuance to today. A letter was sent out that indicated that there would be no more continuances granted, and that this board would render a decision whether the applicant was present or not, or represented.
Okay, I guess my whole real question and point was, I don't feel that the city has dropped the ball, because there wasn't really a ball to drop. So normal standards, you pull a permit and you don't put drywall up until everything has been approved.
That is
completely. So as far as the city being accused of dropping the ball due to somebody passing away is not really reality.
And you're a contractor?
Exactly.
Was, okay.
But regardless, I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that we didn't really drop the ball.
I'm sorry, can you be clear on what do you mean by drop the ball?
Well, you said that somebody passed away and then somebody dropped the ball and didn't follow up. There was really no following up. Just because a structure burns and they put a notice on the door not to proceed until things are in proper order, there really wasn't not followed up on, because there was really nothing to follow up on.
In other words,
no one is going to come to your building and inspect it to approve drywall unless there's been a permit pulled for somebody to come inspect the work that's been done so you can drywall. You would never close a structure till all four entities of inspection are completed before anything is ever even insulated, let alone covered with drywall. So it wasn't really something that wasn't followed up on because there wasn't anything to technically follow up on.
In other words, unless there's a request made by the person who owns the property to come and inspect the work, the city is not going to come and inspect the work. It's not the city's job to continuously follow up on projects just because they slapped a notice on the door. They only follow up if a request is made.
Okay, so when a stop work order is put out, is that reported like to the city or anything? Like
That is their,
public record
that
or
is their,
anything?
that's
That
their
is the report.
stop work orders from the building department.
Okay.
So it sounds like, I mean, if I were you, I would share what you got and see if they're willing to work with you. I have no idea, again, what you have, but I would follow back up with them. But as far as, it doesn't sound like you're opposed to the inspections that, I mean, that's essentially what this appeal was for,
Yeah,
for
no,
us to avoid inspections, which I don't think anybody would do. I mean, there's just too much liability.
No, I was never
Okay.
trying to avoid the inspection.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't, I thought they had to just basically come in here and just tear everything out again. So,
I mean, to some extent, I mean, depending on where your wiring and stuff is, I mean, just like, you know, it was pointed out that you may have to pull off one side or something. I mean, obviously, there's a side that, you know, like a kitchen, I don't know what the kitchen standpoint is, but if you can pull the back side of the kitchen wall out,
so
you don't
can
have to
I
mess
ask
with the
about
cabinets.
this? So it was never no fire downstairs, so what about the downstairs?
Oh, everything. Just like I said, like with a fire, I mean, I've been part of jobs where you would be shocked to know where when you have a fire, where that electrical line runs through your whole house and things just, so it's pretty much when you have a fire job, you're starting all over. I mean, it's been my experience. But again, I don't know your property. I don't know what's been done.
I wonder why they didn't turn off the lights or gas when it was a tenant down there during, like, right after the fire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tenant and everything down there.
And I mean, the other part of that too is, I mean, as a part of, even in this letter, it says drawings and plans required and inspections and so forth. So you have to hire somebody to do their assessment of the project, put the drawings together. They get submitted for the building department to review, then come in and inspect. Obviously, some of those steps were missed here, so I don't know what the process and what the city is willing to work with you on. But again, I would definitely take what you have, follow back up with them and see if there's anything to work with at that point. All right. Any other questions or anybody else here to speak for or against the matter? Don't, since you're the only one. If you don't have any other questions, then I would entertain a motion. From somebody.
So what we're voting on is to not have every part of it just waived and it be issued an occupancy.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
And the appeal is for an occupancy permit, so they can get
Correct.
service. All right, I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
Roll call.
The motion up for what?
Approval.
Approval.
To approve, yeah, I wasn't done, I was gonna read the numbers.
Oh.
I'm old and slow, man. To accept A-33-25.
Make sure you read through that.
You're accepting her,
I made a motion to accept, that's,
so you're granting her the appeal.
No,
no, we make
gotta
every,
vote on
we
it.
make every motion to
vote.
accept.
Yeah.
That's just the verbiage we
Yep.
always used.
Just want to be clear.
Okay.
So I have a motion on the table. I have a second. So I'll take roll call.
Mr. Reed,
No.
Mr. Andrus,
No.
Ms. Curley,
No.
Chairman Rowe.
No. All right.
So what are we saying no about? Because I didn't hear what the motion was.
To accept your appeal, which, so that was not accepted. So you get to work with the department now with your photos and everything to figure out moving forward. But we are not allowed, basically exactly what we talked about. So I am not, this board is not granting you to have an occupancy of the building that, in which you said you were willing to have them come do the inspection. So
Okay, so, but that's, I didn't come in here to get occupancy. I came in here, but basically, what you saying that you can't make that decision, so I came. in
correct, you
here
got to work with the department on that.
Right, to basically show my pictures to see what you guys think. So,
To the building department, correct. I'd follow back up with building and zoning, or building department, I guess.
If I understand, if we voted yes, then no inspections would be required.
Correct.
Right.
And occupancy would be granted.
But that's not what I came in here for. I didn't come in here to appeal for no inspections to be.
That's what you came here for. That's what the letter was
That's what the
asking.
letters
Yeah,
ask.
so when they had me write up something really quick in the office, I never put in that letter, can I see it?
You got
have
it.
it?
Yeah, you should have had it, but yeah.
But it's a letter they had me write for the appeal. I don't have it with me, but you guys should have
It's
it.
transposed on the cities, but yeah.
Right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never put that I don't want an inspection either. So yeah, it says stop work order not properly worded, and that's because
So read above that. So the appeal process here today was for the items above that. Those are the reasons that were given to not do the inspections and the drawings.
What's above it?
So it says, please be advised that the appeal application has been filed to the Board of Residential Building Appeals for the purpose of relief from RCO Section 105.01, approvals required, building permit application, Section 106.1, submittal documents, plans required, and Section 108.29, testing of residential building service equipment inspections required, citing the following reasons. So you were appealing all three of those items. So basically, not doing drawings, not getting inspections, and the reasons you cited were those three that you below there. That's what this letter, that's what we were given the paperwork on. So that's what we
Okay,
voted
well,
no
so,
on.
okay, now, yeah, that part, yeah, I definitely was appealing because they said I didn't get any of that done, but I didn't do any work to get that, to go pull any inspections or anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I appealed that part because.
That's what we just voted on.
Yeah, so basically, it was saying that, you guys were putting a stop work order on me, or am I confused or something? It seemed like it was a stop work order put on me.
It's
for me
on the
doing work.
It's on the property.
owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
It doesn't-
cannot, you can't, there's no occupancy in the house right now.
Correct.
So until this, so what we voted on tonight was to essentially say, yeah, you can occupy the house without getting drawings or without getting inspections. But you said that wasn't the case. That's not what you were asking for. So
Correct.
we said, no, you cannot occupy the house. We agree with you. And so now the next step is you need to follow back up with building department. And I would, again, show them your photos and everything you have and see if what they're willing to work with you on to get these inspections so that you can get occupancy. I mean, everybody wants you to get in the house, obviously, but it's whatever you got to do to get in the house.
Okay.
I mean, nobody wants to have an unsafe house. I mean,
Right, I don't want to.
So yeah, so we're all just here trying to make sure everybody's in a safe place.
Okay. All righty.
All right. With that, I will adjourn the meeting at 6:19 PM.